A lot is going on in our solar system right now between the sun, the moon, and the planetary transits that are happening. This is all occurring right around Halloween and the Day of the Dead. So let's jump in and take a look at the astrology of what's happening. The new moon occurs on November 1st of 2024. And what we have here is the astrology chart for San Francisco, California. It's in, a earthquake-prone zone in the United States. And that's what we're going to look at here is the probability of the transits in this chart, as well as some things going on with the sun and the moon right now. In regards to, what's the probability of larger earthquake activity. And so you can see here that we have a new moon, which is another way of saying the sun is joining the moon. They're at the same degree and minutes. And so this is, there's an energy between the sun, the moon, and the earth when this occurs, that, the electricity of the sun and the magnetic principles that come forth out of the moon are in direct alignment with the earth at that point. And so there's a lot of electromagnetic pull and forces that are applied to the earth, specifically at a new moon. And so that's one of the reasons why there tend to be larger earthquakes on a new moon, is because of that force that's at play. We also have a square here between the sun and the moon and Pluto. Pluto's the planet of evolution. It's about birth and death, regeneration, transformation. And so it can be, on the physical or spiritual plane. But, in regards to earthquakes, it can have a negative impact in that it can cause a major transformation and, potentially death due to the earthquake. So that you would be looking at that transit as well. Another transit here that we need to look at is this is called an opposition when they're opposite each other, 180 degrees apart between Pluto and Mars right here. So this is also what they call applying stress in the chart. Mars is action and things happening, events. And it's known as a trigger planet. It can trigger events to happen. And, it's considered a malefic as well as the moon. So you have this opposition with Pluto, and then you also have, all the interaction between Pluto with the sun and the moon here. So these are the kind of transits that astrologers look at to, look at the probability, is it more likely that could be larger earthquake activity at the time. Nobody can predict it with 100% accuracy. Nobody can do that, not even, science. But you can just say, there's a lot of stress on the chart, and so there's a higher probability that there could be a larger earthquake. And also in the San Francisco chart, this only applies to San Francisco, but since Mars is conjunct the midheaven here and square the ascendant here, the square, this is also applying stress, and it's all combined with this, the Mars, Pluto in a relationship with the sun and the moon. It's all combined together to create a significant stress in the chart. You also have the new moon, the sun conjunct the moon, trining Saturn. Saturn's, the planet of, it's related to earthquakes. You see a lot of transits happen that involve Saturn because its structure is changes in the structure, and the systems. So we can see that this is having also an impact, that there's a trine with Saturn. Saturn, Mars, and Pluto, and the Moon are all considered malefics. So you can see, in general, there's a lot of stress in the chart. So looking at the probability of a larger earthquake on the new moon or near the new moon, we're looking at the malefic planetary transits that we just covered. So we have the Moon, Pluto, Mars, and Saturn that are all malefic, having stressful transits to the Sun. We also have solar flare activity that's expected to increase in this time period. We've just had some larger X flares, and then the Sun kind of went quiet for a week or two, but now it's expected with the sunspots coming around that it will be Earth facing, that they're expected to produce larger M flares and a higher probability of X flares, which are very large solar flares. And so this creates a lot of electromagnetic energy that's active in the Earth when solar flares hit the Earth. And so when solar flare activity is increasing and of high magnitude, it's related to more earthquake activity, and it can generate a larger earthquake, be a factor contributing to that. And also, it's just known that larger earthquakes tend to happen at a new moon. They're more frequent at a new moon. So again, all that electromagnetic interaction happening with the Sun, the Moon, and the Earth that contribute to larger earthquakes happening. So with this increased probability of a larger earthquake, the new moon earthquake watch, we would set it based on the fact that the new moon is occurring on November 1st, which is the Day of the Dead. And also you have to look at, you're looking at the new moon transit. So we normally look 2 days before, the day of, and 2 days after the new moon. So when you would set the watch period, you would be looking for increased activity between, the probability of a larger earthquake. You'd be looking at October 30th, which is 2 days before, and then through November 3rd, which is 2 days after the actual new moon. There are still, a significant effect from the new moon a couple days before and a couple days after the new moon. So this is the watch period I would set for this, and we need to be more aware that there's an increased probability for a larger earthquake in that watch period. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.